Jason Gorber?
Hi, Charles Hood.
Charles Hood. Tell me about your film.
Night Owls is a feature. It's a comedy drama. It had its international premiere here last night, and another screening tonight. It takes place all in one night. It's sort of like a one night stand from hell. A guy, Adam Pally, goes home with a girl, Rosa Salazar, and it's hard because I don't want to give too much away, but he goes home with her and finds out that she's his boss's ex-mistress, and then she takes an overdose of sleeping pills, and he has to keep her awake all night.
And it goes on from there.
Yeah.
Obviously, so much of the film rests upon the shoulders of these two remarkable performers. Just wondering if you could talk about at what stage of the story were they brought in and how you found them to actually do this part.
Adam, so my writing partner Seth and I wrote the script with not really anybody particular in mind. And when we finished, we gave it to our agent, and she said, write a list of names. 10 actors, 10 actresses who you think would be good for this. And
so Jack Nicholson was on the top.
I mean, we put names that we thought would be right for it and that would consider doing it, I think. And Adam Pally was on that list. And our agent, Susie, knew Adam, and she said, I know he's looking for something different to do. Because he a lot of times just gets stuck playing kind of the goofy bro or something, but this has a little bit more emotional weight to it. And Seth, all credit to my writing partner Seth. It was his idea, and he was dead on. He was right. I mean,
and what role had he seen Adam do that sort of tweaked on it?
I think it was Happy Endings, the TV show, which is really great. And I had only seen really a couple episodes, and then. And I trusted Seth's instinct on that, and he was right. And then once I heard Adam was interested, he wanted to meet, and I binge watched all of Happy Endings, and just to really see what he's capable of. He's fantastic.
And your lead actress?
And Rosa, so she was not on our radar. I don't think she's on many people's radar right now, but she's getting there, and I think she's about to really blow up. She's fantastic. Adam actually recommended her because he had worked with her on a comedy called Search Party, which I don't think has come out yet. But she had a small role in it, and he just knew from working with her just for a few days that she was immensely talented, and they had great chemistry. So he said to me, you should meet with Rosa. And so I met with her, and as soon as I met her, I was like, she is this character. She's so perfect. And I think she's amazing in the movie.
With such a truncated shooting schedule, like trying to get this intimate thing, their connection has to be pretty immediate. I assume you did not have liberty for months of doing rehearsals and that sort of thing. You just sort of got to get on set. It's got to be on day one.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we had one read through before, and it wasn't really rehearsing. It was just kind of hearing it and making sure it sounded okay, and my co-writer Seth and I making some last-minute adjustments based on any little bits of extra funny things that they added into it or whatever. But there was not really any rehearsal. I mean, it was really grabbing a few minutes here and a few minutes there before, while setting up. I'd go into. We were all living in this one house. The whole movie takes place in one house, and we all were living there. Not all of us, but a couple of the department heads, myself, and Adam and Rosa were all living there.
So the fundamental journalistic question is, how did you not kill each other?
Yeah, no, there were moments.
I guess the advantage is you're in charge, so nobody can kill you.
Yes, yeah, no, but it was tough because it's our set, but people are living there, and so people would just make a mess in the kitchen, and it was like, well, we have to redress this set to shoot tomorrow, and so it was tough, but. Yeah, I mean, it was, to go back just to the rehearsing, it was like, we'd sneak into, while my cinematographer and gaffer, while they're setting up everything, after we just a general walkthrough, like blocking and stuff, we'd go back into Adam's room or into Rosa's room and just kind of read through the scene and talk a little bit, and that's when we'd steal our rehearsal time, basically.
So you're doing night shoots, I assume shooting out of continuity.
Actually, we were able to, I mean, it was like 3 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and 17 days of shooting in a little less than 3 weeks. We were doing 6-day weeks, and it was the first 6 days was basically the first third of the movie,
Oh.
and then and so it was a little out of order, but it was all within that first third. So we were able to. I really wanted to make that happen, so I fought for that, to schedule that way, so because we could really build the movie and have the actors feel that connection more and more, and so they can, I don't know, I guess it just come more naturally to them. We don't have to work so hard to figure out, what, And so the second week was like the second third, the middle third of the movie, and then the last week was like the last third of the movie.
And you have these other characters drop in either by phone or actually physically dropping in, without giving too much away.
Right.
Nonetheless, if you could, when they're coming into this sort of very cloistered environment already, it must have been a little bit distancing for them to come in. How did that process work? About the other actors actually coming into this sort of set unit that was already glommed together.
Yeah, no, it was, we shot with Tony Hale like on day 2, so it wasn't quite intrusive when he came in. It felt still right because we were still playing that first third of the movie. Adam and Rosa's characters haven't quite connected. They're kind of not on the same plane at that point. So that was totally great, and Tony Hale was so easy to work with, so fun to work with. But yeah, by the end, it was one of our last couple days of shooting was when we brought in Peter Krause and Rob Hubel, and it did feel a little different. It was like the dynamic. It was almost like but it made sense for the movie too.
Suddenly you have house guests.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, and so it was good, and everybody was on their best behavior, and.
And the biggest thing, I guess, is the hardest thing, and the thing that I think you pull off beautifully, is maintaining that tone. Because there are moments where, I mentioned this to you before, there are moments where you feel that the film is about to go off the rails, that you're going to stop liking these characters. And at every point in your work, your film manages to sort of shift us along and actually recognize that we're not getting too much into darkness or too much into farce. I'm just wondering if you could talk about just developing that, about whether even on set you're worrying about that kind of tone, or was it simply during editing you want to just make sure that it was done as impeccably as possible?
It was every, it was every step of the way. With the screenplay, Seth and I really talked a lot about tone, and so one of the characters tries to kill herself in the first 5 minutes of the movie, so you can't betray the seriousness of that. We go for some big laughs. I mean, hopefully it's the comedy plays all really well, but at the same time, we never could lose sight of the fact that someone tried to commit suicide at the beginning of this movie. And so letting that drama still be there, but also not dip into melodrama. So it was a real balancing act. And so Seth and I had a lot of discussions, and I worked really hard to make the comedy work, but still within the context of this, dramatic underbelly of that's there. And then through shooting, it was the same thing, with Adam and Rosa. I mean, both of them, they're both so great with improv, but at certain times you'd have to tone it down a little bit. You can't go too broad with the comedy. And then the same thing too, you can't go too far with the melodrama. So it was a real balancing act, and then it goes down to the editing too. And so my editor Grant Sermi, who's amazing, the two of us, we'd look at every single take of every single shot, and we'd discuss, is this going too far? And then we had discussions about that. There's still some things in the movie that I wonder, did we go too goofy there? So it's just. Yeah, I mean, it was a constant discussion through every step.
Were there specific films that you use as touchstones of films that you think got that incredibly difficult balancing act to pull off?
I mean, I love Alexander Payne's movies. I think he does a really great job he goes really broad comedy, with like Kathy Bates being naked and about Schmidt, but there's also really dramatic moments in that, and Billy Wilder movies. The Apartment is a big influence on this movie, and that's a good question. If you're ripping off Payne and Wilder, it's not such a bad, not a bad way to go. Yeah.
And finally, you've had a chance to show this now to a couple audiences. How rewarding has it been, and have they reacted? Have they laughed when you thought they would laugh, and sort of got pissed off when you thought they would be pissed off?
Yeah, no, it's been so rewarding watching it with audiences at South by Southwest, and now here in Calgary. It's been It's been amazing. Some people, yeah, it's and every audience is a little different. So certain things will get a bigger laugh than other things, and I'm always interested in I don't know why. It's just a certain vibe. Certain audiences laugh more, and other ones don't, or at different moments, and it's good. I mean, I'm always hard on myself, so I'm like any joke that doesn't get as big a laugh as I want, I'm like I just get mad at myself for it.
And finally, has the film let you question at all your love of college sports?
Has it questioned my love?
Have you started questioning your love of college sports?
My love of I was born in Nebraska, and so I'm a huge Nebraska football fanatic. And I went to USC, and so I'm a huge USC fan as well. And I'm still just as much of a fan, but it interests me so much, that fanaticism, if that's a word. Yeah, like just how much people will rationalize certain. Just when people break rules and things like that, and they'll just like situations like, I don't know if you follow college football, and but like Penn State and Joe Paterno, like those big stories, and you talk to Penn State fans, and a lot of them will rationalize some really messed up stuff, and that's just like kind of a little. Yeah, it's an interesting topic to sort of explore without getting too spoilery for the movie, but we do get into some of that stuff.
It's okay. I don't like NFL, but I love Belichick, so you can make fun of
Yeah, exactly. Like Belichick, and Patriots fans.
Yeah, I'm that schmuck. So anyway, going about football. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming to Calgary.
Thank you so much.
All the best,
yeah.
man.